I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
2 L's, 1 pod underway. The new name, the same disappointing show. I'm Al Romas. I'm in Coco K.
Cocaine is my
Bahamas.
joke on stage that I do.
What is your joke?
Cocaine.
Coco Cane?
That's why the sand is so white. That used to be a drug cocaine drop-off point.
Yeah,
back in the
that's
day,
the
in the
reason you're in
70s.
Uruguay right now, and I'm in Coco K. You know what I'm saying? Those jokes like that. We'll get to
The exiled
on a
me.
boat to
I was
Uruguay.
exiled.
That's Al Ducharme right there. He's in a cafe in Uruguay. He's having some vino. What do you have in there? What is that? What is that? A rosé or is it a Chardonnay?
No, it's not. I don't do the rosé or the sweet. I don't do the sweet wines like you and Kelly do.
Well, we like the Riesling. It's
Yeah, that's
tasty,
German.
delightful, and refreshing.
That's a German grape.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't do German.
Well, what do you have in there? It's not a Grigio, is it? If
It's-
that's a
it's a
Grigio,
local-
I'm ending
It's
this
supposed to be a local
podcast.
white wine.
Oh, a local
I have a
white.
feeling it's from Argentina, but you can't say that here because Argentina just won the World Cup, so you can't say that.
Now, let's go through this travel of yours a little bit. You, I think
Nightmare.
I saw you were writing me. It was 20. Was it 22 hours basically, house to hotel? And take us through
You know,
that a little.
I think it was a little longer, to be honest with you. I think I hit 26 hours when
Oh.
all said and done because of layovers, transportation. I had to go to 2 airports. I went to 3 airports. LAX to Miami. That's actually 2. Miami to Buenos Aires International Airport. And then I had to take a 45-minute taxi to their domestic airport and then fly 2 hours, hire a vehicle to take me
What?
another 50 minutes to my hotel. Now, when I did this a few years ago, they overnighted
What the
me in Buenos
fuck?
Aires, and you slept. And you
Yes.
slept, you got your 6-7 hours sleep, you had a good meal, and you get up, you took the flight, it's a 2-hour flight,
Yeah.
no biggie.
Right.
This time they put me all the way through, and I think it's because I requested American Airlines. If I didn't request American Airlines, it probably would have played out a little simpler. But at the same
Yeah, but
time,
you
I
gotta get that
stressed that I said
status.
I want my status.
You got
I
to
wanna
get
get my
the rub.
Executive platinum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
I
put
mean,
in the
that-
extra 6 hours, and there it is.
That's
But it was
horrendous,
still
man.
it was going to be a 20-hour ordeal, which I knew in advance. But I'll tell you what, those 18-20 hour travel times
Yeah.
used to be easier pre-pandemic. I'm not used to
Right.
it.
Right. I know. Yes.
I'm a few
I
years
hear you.
older, and
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just not. I'm
No.
not greased.
It's hard. I don't care if you're 20 or 80. That's a fucking hard day, man. That's just tough. It's tough physically, mentally. Everything about that kind of travel is tough, especially mentally, because you don't know if the connection's on time. You don't. It's all a mystery. Am I going to get there? Am I going to make it there on time? I don't know.
And if
But-
you're making 50
But you
grand,
did it.
you just do it. When you're making a fraction of that,
You're not making
You have to
50
do it.
grand this week. What?
no, we don't. We have the same agent. I want to talk to
well,
you
it
when
was
we get
that-
off air.
Well, it was that Coco K joke didn't help you. I'll tell you that.
They cut my pay in half.
Coco Cane. Ugh, I don't think so. Usually, I wouldn't mind lifting a joke or two that I like, but I'm not lifting. Coco Cane is.
Don't lift
staying
it,
right
dude.
here on
I
the
never
podcast.
recommend that. But I'm going to tell you
No.
right now, half of my audience, or more than half of my audience, is from Argentina or Uruguay, and they love your act. They love my
Oh.
spin on it.
Nice. I'm happy to hear
Yeah,
that. I
it's-
like
it's
I like
working
it
out.
because I'm not going
I-
there, so I'm glad the act can
Yeah.
go. 'Cause
So I
Daddy
didn't even
ain't
have to change
leaving.
my name to Romas.
There
I
you
kept
go.
Ducharme.
Of
worked out.
charm. Yeah, I'm not going, man. I like my little hamster wheel, as you called it, and that's fine with me. We're at Coco K tomorrow. We're in Miami. I get off the ship. I get in my car, drive to Fort Lauderdale, about 20 minutes, and then I'll get on the Odyssey of the Seas. And that's how I do it, buddy. And I come back to Coco K and Nassau. And,
Well, you're beloved
Cozumel.
by
I'm what?
You're beloved by the
I
Royal
don't- well, I
Caribbean
don't do
Cruise
that.
Lines.
I don't do
You
the
get the
Coco
junior
Cane joke.
suite.
You know.
You get the coffee maker,
I
espresso
do.
maker in your cabin.
And not
You
always,
get
but it was nice.
those are great, but the cavity search in order to have that's a
True.
deal breaker for me.
Cavities. Oh, really? You didn't have a cavity search entering?
No, I don't go through
Uruguay?
that. Oh, no,
Really?
don't go through that. No one's
No.
bringing drugs in. It's on the way
Oh.
out.
I got you. Okay. Hey, our football picks last week weren't bad. We got championship weekend. Let's knock this out quick before anyone gets
Before we
angry
lose
with
any
us.
listeners.
Yeah, I just in the league where they play for pay 49ers Eagles. This is going to be a hell of a game.
Wow.
49ers Eagles. Who do you like in that one, Alfred?
Well, I like the Purdy story. The the last round pick, the last person to be picked to play in the NFL. He's 7-0.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy broke his ankle. I'm loving
Yeah.
that story. I'd love to see him go all the way, but it's a tall task. He hasn't had one interception. He hasn't had one interception.
Thanks for jinxing him.
Well, that's because I'm just repeating what I keep hearing. So
Yeah.
Everybody's jinxed him already, but
Yeah.
it's a tall order to get through Philly. And then, of course, I'm assuming, I don't know, the Chiefs, what do you think with the high ankle sprain, as they keep saying over and over again?
Well, we're on
Patrick
the 49ers
Mahomes.
Eagles. Did you
Yeah, I
pick
know.
one on that?
I jumped ahead. No, I jumped ahead. I'm going 49ers.
I'm going Eagles
Purdy
big.
story.
I think Purdy story ends. It was a nice story. It ends. And then in the offseason, they re-sign Jimmy G or get a quarterback, maybe Brady.
Well, because Brady,
Mr. Irrelevant's
Brady was,
not going to, that's over this weekend.
Brady replaced Bledsoe in 2000 and then played through 2001 after the World Trade and all that. Ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
And the actual name Patriots during that whole attack on the United States kind of played so beautifully.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
think
what
Purdy,
you're talking about.
I think Purdy is in a similar situation, although
What's
he's no
happening
GOAT.
right now? Okay.
Are you with me on that? He's no Brady, but it's a nice story.
It's a nice story. I think it's like Linsanity in New York years ago, and these things happen and then they end and it's over. Purdy's the last pick in the draft for a reason. Now it's a great story, but he's not going to be Brady. He's going to be probably out of the league in a year or two. So the Eagles are going to crush them. They're going to crush them. I'm telling you.
He's going to get that $50 million contract, though.
I don't think so.
48.
I think he's. And then on the other game, we got the Chiefs. What is it? It's getting loud in that fucking cafe you're in.
Well,
God.
They got their second bottle of bubbly over here.
Are they from the ship?
That's okay.
Or are these
I'll dull
are
it.
these restaurant
We
workers?
have two tracks. I'll just when you're yapping, I'll lower it, which will be most of the time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, Chiefs Bengals. Who you like in Chiefs Bengals? You know who you like on that one. You're going Mahomes, I bet.
No,
You're
I'm
old
not,
school.
because he's injured, and this, Joe Burrows is.
It's all about Joe.
It's all about Joe. It's all about Joe.
That's
I'm
the
going
goat.
Bengals. I'm going
That's
for
the
the
new
Mike
goat.
Burton, East Coast Mike Burton. He's the new goat. Joe Burrows is the new goat. Absolutely.
That's right. It's right. And not Mr. Purdy. It's Mr. Burrow.
No, I just like the story of Purdy.
Yeah.
That's all. It's a Purdy story.
Burrow has that old time cool, like Joe Namath. He's a cool guy. You know what I mean? He's not faking it. He's not posing. He's a cool guy, and he's
posing.
great.
He's
so
posing. He's
working.
got the fur jackets and the glasses.
Oh, I like it. He's a cigar man. I dig it.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Yeah. And he
Good stuff.
he looks like Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin, whatever his name is.
Who?
Macaulay Culkin. What's his name?
What? It's not
What's his
that.
name?
I guarantee you that.
Well, what is it?
Macaulay Culkin.
What is it? Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know.
He
I was
looks
trying
like
to figure it
Macaulay
out while
Culkin.
you
You couldn't
think?
figure that out? You're just drinking
think?
coffee. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah.
I'm having a little vino.
Are your shows finished for the week now? Are you done? Have you performed? Do you need another show out of you?
Yeah. Backstage before I'm going on, he goes, "So Al, can I add an adult show?"
Oh,
I go, "Yeah, if you want. What are you going to do tonight?" I go, I'm doing my 2:45s. I'm like, I'll do the family show. He goes, "Do you have enough adult show to do another 45?"
what?
I go, yeah, it's like all before I'm going on. All before I'm going on.
No.
And I'm like,
no good.
I go, whatever you. He goes, "Well, I want your best 45. These people have been here for 2 weeks." I go, "Okay, then take the shackles off me and let me go free." He knows me, He goes,
Yeah.
"Forget the adult show. Just give me your best." And I went out there, and it's like a third of the audience because the first show at 7:00. It's a port day, and also he goes, "Listen, before you go out, I want to tell you." He goes, "Half of them are going to leave because they don't speak English." He goes, "So don't worry about it."
And
So
the
he
other
goes up
half
there,
just don't like
he
your
does
act,
my
so-
intro. He does my intro in English and Spanish. And then he goes, and basically what he said was, "It's going to be in English, but it's okay." He does.
Uno,
He does characters and stuff. You should hang in here. And all of a sudden, you see people getting up.
Oh,
There's people getting up. I'm watching on the monitor. People just getting up during my intro and leaving. And then I walk out and I go, and I say like 2 sentences, and they get up and they sleep.
Right.
But the ones that remained were nice. But it's always great to have a full crowd. Second show packed. People stayed much better. But I always joke about the first show being a practice or a dress rehearsal.
When the cruise director's telling them not to leave because he does characters, I mean, what the fuck kind of intro is that? What do you? What's wrong,
dude?
with
I don't know. Oh, by the way,
these people?
This cruise director has taken jokes from me, from the Liars Club and whatnot. So he wears this very vibrant pastel pink suit. On these shows. Yeah. So last time I worked with him, I said, let's give a hand. He's looking very Pepto-Bismol tonight. Crowd laughs. I go into my act.
Did they laugh? I don't know. They might have. They smiled. It's not.
When I'm telling my stories, why this is getting old, man. This is getting old. I'm telling you a story.
I'm just saying.
I'm being vulnerable. And
I'm being the audience.
Why do you do this podcast? Why do you do this podcast? Because it makes you put you on a pedestal. You feel superior. What's the reason?
I'm being the audience.
I can mute you. I can just mute you the entire time, and it'll be my podcast. And you'll be like Ed McMahon. A mute Ed McMahon. Oh, now he's in line.
I'm playing the role of the audience. And I have to call out bullshit when I hear it. That's how the audience would be.
Well,
if you said, how about a hand for Pepto-Bismol, and the audience laughed. I mean, they might have smiled, but no one's. That's not a fucking.
You got to see my actual shirt that I'm wearing. Think of this, but fluorescent.
Okay. I get
and
it.
Three piece.
Woo! Got it.
Boom. Makes sense. You got to remember, he went out there and floundered for 10 minutes. So
big fat guy.
No, not at all.
Well,
but the thing is,
the bottle.
I come backstage the other night, 2 nights ago, and he's back. He comes running from another thing that he introduced, another program that he just introduced. He goes, "Hey Al, good to see you. Hey, listen, I'm going to do the Pepto-Bismol joke." So
what?
I go, what do you mean? Don't you want me to do the Pepto-Bismol? He goes, no. You do whatever you want, but I'm doing the Pepto-Bismol joke. Okay, here we go. Goes down, does my Pepto-Bismol joke, gets a laugh.
All right.
Comes back, I go, I see my joke, got a laugh. And then during passing.
This guy sucks. I hate this guy. I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah. And then
it's bad enough when they steal, but when he's telling you he's stealing.
He would ask me to do the Liars Club, which I don't mind doing. A lot of comedians go, "No, I'm not doing it." I do it because I enjoy it.
No, you don't.
I'm good at it. It's all good.
Okay.
And I write for it, so it's a good thing. I do the Liars Club. I did it with the captain and him. Captain goes, "Oh my goodness, he is so funny." He didn't invite me to the Liars Club, and he's doing my material that I wrote for the Liars Club.
Yeah, but you've done enough cruises. You know how this works.
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Works. Well, that's how this works, man. They do.
And he's rating me, so I can't go, "Hey, man, you're doing my jokes." I can't say it because
he's rating
he better give me a fucking good rate. I almost want to say that.
Really?
Hey, man,
you want to go back to
Uruguay? Using those jokes, but give me a good rating. I almost want to say that.
Yeah, but if he gives you a bill, if he gives you a bad rating, you don't have to go back to Uruguay. So before my introduction, he said, "Hey, I'm doing your joke." He stinks. I would be like, no, it's my joke. That's not how this works. I wrote it. You don't get to do it.
It's literally, he's like the guy's holding the curtain, getting ready to pull it back, and he tells me he's doing the Pepto-Bismol joke. Which you said stunk. But
I didn't say it stunk.
It gets a laugh. A laugh is a laugh.
They didn't laugh. They smiled.
Of course they did.
They laughed.
Why do you think he stole it? Why would he steal it?
Because he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot.
He gets no laughs.
He's not a funny man. He's an idiot.
You weren't there,
and
you're jealous. You're jealous.
What am I jealous?
I got to laugh on a stupid joke.
You're in Uruguay. I'm not jealous. I guarantee you, I'm not jealous. Guarantee you.
Okay. First of all,
I'm going to be in my car tomorrow. I'm going to be in my car.
Prostitutes are all gorgeous and they're subsidized by the government. Doesn't cost you anything.
And you're married and you don't go to prostitutes. So what's the point?
Right. But I was making another joke. That one fell flat. Okay. I agree. That one was a stinker.
Wow. Maybe if you had done that in your Pepto-Bismol jacket, it might have been funny. Jesus. Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, we're in Coco. We were in Miami last night. We had a medical emergency, so the ship had to go.
Are you okay?
To Miami.
You look fine.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Diarrhea is no reason to call emergency.
Well, this was a disaster. You should have seen what was coming on or coming out. And but you know what's funny? On Facebook, there's a group for the ship, Symphony of the Seas. They have their own page. So I look at it last night, and it was because I knew people were going to be bitching. So here we are saving someone's life. And there are people on the page going, "Why is the casino closed? This is bullshit." Then somebody writes, "Well, there's a medical emergency. We're in Miami. We're docked." Yeah, but I paid for a vacation. This is bullshit. Why is the casino closed?
You're on a passenger website?
Yeah, Facebook.
That explains it.
Yeah. But I mean, I only went to it because I knew people were going to be complaining about us saving someone's life. Like that's the mindset of people.
They're being dragged out of their cabin on a stretcher.
My vacation is being ruined while we save someone's life. It's like Jesus Christ.
Go to the bar. Yeah. You get the drink package. Enjoy a nice meal. Have some drinks. Have some martinis, and back you go.
But they want to complain. Gotta
that's
complain.
The thing. Well, there are people that have nothing. I mean, they're working class, struggling. They go on vacation once every 3 years.
Working class hero is something to be.
They don't have a house cleaner. They don't have a maid. They don't have cooks.
I don't have any of that.
And then they go on a cruise and like, what's going on with this? Why is there so much pulp in the orange juice? What's happening here? Don Gavin, thank you very much. But it's true. They complain.
That's
and
true.
I'm like, where are you from? Do you live in Buckingham Palace?
But I think we've talked about this a little. These ships and hotels and resorts have created monsters because they started giving away things. When you complain, they used to be like, "I'm sorry, we'll get on that," and now they go, "We're sorry. Here's a bottle of champagne. I'm sorry. Here's Wi-Fi." So they've created that, and people know that. They go on the ship and tell them this didn't work out, or this was late, or this. You'll get something. And those are adults, you know what I mean? Trying to get free shit. And it's getting louder and louder in there, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, but so
I can't talk over the din. I'm trying to talk over the din.
But I explained to you, we have 2 audio tracks.
Yeah, but I went over the din.
Yes, you did.
I like to say din.
The din of our Rice Krispies. What's that from? 5 seconds.
The din of our Rice Krispie. Boy, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
I'll give you a hint. Police. The band, The Police.
Oh, so the din of I don't know police lyrics. I don't. I'm not good with that.
Synchronicity album.
Ah, well, it's a great song, but I don't know the
The
lyrics.
din of our Rice Krispies. Yeah.
Is that what it really is, or is that what you think they're saying? Have you ever looked at the lyric sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't believe anything I say, anyways.
Well, no, those are terrible lyrics. Then I thought
you don't have to yell.
Ridiculous.
You don't have to yell because I'm gonna lower the volume in the background, and you can just speak normally, like a normal person, which is a stretch for you.
All right. No, the din of our Rice Krispies sounds like a bullshit, like when you don't know the words, so you sing along with it. Doesn't sound like a real.
I understand.
You know,
what are some other famous lyrics that everybody thought were different?
Creedence Clearwater Revival. There's a bathroom on the right.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
Good one.
Remember, John Joseph did the bit with Lion King. You know, the Lion King opens with Pennsylvania, pink pajamas, penguins on the bottom. That one, which I watch every day at home. Every day I watch the Lion King because Teddy watches it and it babysits him. So we have the Lion King on in the condo probably all day, literally at times. And you hear those. I never saw the Lion King, and now I know every line in the movie.
Let me explain to the new listeners. I'm sorry. Correct.
Listener.
Teddy is their $5,000 dog that they adopted.
$5,000.
4,400. Well, with medical and food.
And
shock collars.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah. Dude, we have a feral cat. We're up to $3,000 already.
That cat's indoors. You brought him. Is he living full time now in your?
He's full time indoors. We let him out under supervision. It's ridiculous.
Under supervision?
Yeah.
Really?
Because we have coyotes in the neighborhood. And he when dogs walk by the house, he curls his back up or arches his back and his tail, and he goes, "Wah!" And he starts like, going towards them. And the dog's like, "What the fuck? This cat is psycho." But you're gonna get that one dog is gonna go, "I will kill him."
Right.
And jump, pull from the owner's leash and all that. So we have to supervise him.
What's the cat's name? Do we have a name for this?
His name is Jasper. He's Jasper, and there's also two other cats on the property. There's a Dante, and he's got giant testicles, and Jasper's been neutered. So he tries to dominate him, and they get into cat fights. So we have to separate them. And then there's a big fat cat next door that her name is Endora.
Endora.
And she's like 10 pounds overweight, and she can toss him with one paw. So he's afraid of her.
What show is that from for our older listeners? Endora. Who was Endora on a sitcom?
That was the mother-in-law to Darren in the 1960s, early 70s sitcom called Bewitched with Elizabeth Montgomery, who is no longer with us. Matter of fact, I think the entire cast is dead.
Did we lose both Darrens?
I think the one.
I think so.
I think it's just the one.
Both.
I think Dick Sargent and Dick York. I don't remember which one is which.
Isn't that weird? We have a sitcom. One guy wants to leave. Let's replace him with a guy who looks just like him and not say anything. That was very weird.
They did that on your buddy's Kevin James sitcom.
Well, they killed her
in Long Island.
They killed her. They killed the wife.
Right, and then didn't mention it ever again. There was no more.
Well, they did one thing. Yeah, the kids wrote a letter or something, and they were like, "Yeah, we really miss your mom." And then all of a sudden, he was dating Leah Remini. So,
yeah, that's how you do it.
But Bewitched was even weirder though, because they just didn't announce anything. It was like people turned on their TV after the next season and went, "He looks different." But he was close enough to where you might not even notice.
I don't know, man. Wasn't he like
the same guy,
5 inches taller and different hairline?
No, he looked the same. Dick York, Dick Sargent. Come on, same guy.
I think they had the same first name. The two Dicks. Thank you very much.
Oh, we missed.
Come on,
That was good. That was good. We missed
Yeah.
it. We missed the two dicks, don't we? The talking dicks. It's
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to start over again with a new
2 owls,
new
one
name,
pod.
2 owls, 1 pod. But I'm not embarrassed. At least when the other comic goes, "You want me to say anything?" I go, "Yeah, my podcast, 2 owls, 1 pod." He's like, "All right." Whereas then when you go the talking dicks, it's always like, "What? What's that? What's that
Yeah,
about?"
I'm not saying that.
You know.
Why don't we
So
skip
it's
that? Can we just say you
yeah.
have a podcast? Yeah, it was tough.
Podcast.
But I sent you that message, like a big podcast. It's called
Right.
the last word they use is dicks. What is it?
I forget what it,
Town
yeah,
with
but it was
dicks or something like
Town
that.
something like that. Yeah, I don't.
Living with
again,
dicks. It was
I
2
don't-
women complaining about guys, and they had the word dicks at the end, whereas we had 2 dicks comedy podcast in the middle.
It does none of it make sense to me. I'll never understand it. But anyway, we're 2 owls, 1 pod. 1 pod. Hey, we have a question today, sir. Questions. We love them. Send them along. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you like. Our question today is from Camus47, and it says, what does it say? Oh, it says, what is the first album you bought with your own, and that's in capital letters, money. First album you bought with your own. Let's go. Let's just take that Camus question and go, what's the first album you ever got? And then what's the first album you ever bought? Like, did you get one as a gift from someone? And what's the first album you went to the store with your little lawnmower money and plucked down and purchased for some hot
Well,
wax?
this will age us. Yeah.
Well, you, not me.
Well
I bought NSYNC, and you know, that was my first album.
That's when you're going through your Australian stage. I remember.
Mhm.
Well, first of all,
You look like
Camus,
you have
is it with a
oxygen.
C?
You look like you have an oxygen tank. If you're on Patreon right now, enjoy Alfred. This is Alfred in another 10 years or so, or maybe 20 years.
change me? Is it a Camus is with a C or a K, and is it CAYMUS?
Yes, like the vino.
Like the vino. You know, I have a 2018 Cabernet special edition Camus in my wine rack bar.
What's that? You know what? You can crack that when I come over to the dwelling. We'll crack that. We'll crack that open.
Well, you don't travel because you're in the hamster wheel, but yeah, sure.
Well, I'm going to go to Hawaii in the fall.
I know.
And I'm going to go to Los Angeles first.
Yeah, but I'm going to be in Tampa, so maybe you're going to be out of town. Maybe I'll call Kelly and crack it open with her.
You do it. She'd love to. She'll take you out to dinner and you can give her some wine. And sure. She's a big Al Ducharme fan. She's probably sitting there listening to this going, no, I'm not. But you are. You're a big Al Ducharme fan. She's like, well,
I prefer an air conditioner, but I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
See, that's another one that's why I'm in Uruguay.
Well,
sorry, Kelly.
You got to open with that Pepto-Bismol bit. Then you're flying high.
I can't.
All
It's
right.
already been done. And the guy got a laugh.
That fucking cruise director's unbelievable. Anyway, let's get to the question. You want to hit it first? First album you bought.
I want you to go first. You always make me go first.
First album I ever got. I was thinking about it this morning. My uncle stopped by when I was about 14 on Christmas Eve and handed me Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. First Beatle album I ever got. And I got into the Beatles. Yeah, that's how I got into the Beatles. And I listened to it. And then we had to go to church at midnight. And I had trippy Beatles songs in my head.
Wow.
Yeah, man. What's happening there now, Alfred?
That's nice. You don't have to worry about it. You can't hear them if I
need all eyes. I need all eyes focused at all times. You know what I mean?
Well, I have earbuds. I can hear every
All
word.
right. Are you getting food delivered?
Every word that dribbles out of your mouth.
Are you getting?
Why don't you send your jaws on hiatus and give us all a break?
Well, I have another part of this question to answer. So Sergeant Pepper, Christmas Eve, and then the first album I ever bought with my own money, I went to Corvettes at the Sunrise
Cars?
Mall in Massapequa. Corvettes, remember the store?
I vaguely
Corvettes?
remember the store. It was a few years before me, but yeah.
They had a great record selection, great record department, and I'm thinking I may have had some, but I think my first album I bought was The Doors. The very first Doors album. Yeah, it's called
Holy
The Doors.
Shit.
The one with Light My Fire and all the others on there, and yeah, that's pretty much so. Pepper, first album given to me, and The Doors. First album bought with my own cash. What about you, Alfredo?
Wow. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right. Thank you.
They're on the second bottle of bubbly, so I'm waiting for a lull.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I'm going to do my Pepto-Bismol joke, and that will get a lull.
That'll clear the room. You should
I had to beat you to it. I did the Masada principle. I took myself out first before the Romans burst down the doors. I performed the Masada principle. Come on.
The Jamie Masada principle?
Yes, the Jamie. Isn't that weird how his last name, Masada?
Yeah.
Maybe a different spelling. I'm going to say my first one acquired.
Yeah.
I don't remember who. I want to say
Debbie
it was
Reynolds
a
live
babysitter.
at the Rio.
Did I not give you the floor when you did your whole fucking sappy story? But I'm hearing a Beatles song.
What? My sappy story. I answered the question.
It was a good story. It was a good story.
All right. Wasn't even a story, but all right, go ahead.
I know. Well, I fell asleep.
Bette Midler live at the Gay Bath House.
What? Unbelievable. You go ahead. And you fucking slam me again. Holy shit.
I'm just joking. Here we go. Comedy podcast.
You know that,
got to keep it
we
moving.
have an audible. We have an audible issue on today's episode, and yet you do it.
Yes.
All right.
No, go ahead.
The first one that I acquired was actually a comedy album. Bill Cosby comedy album, and it was just before we knew we knew he was a rapist. He was probably raping. He was raping. Norm
He's been a raping you. It was the raping
before all the raping.
The best, what I love Norm too is he goes, all rapists are really hypocrites. Let's be honest. He goes, no one's going, I really enjoy the raping. They're all hypocrites. Oh God, so funny. Bill Cosby was your first. So this is the first album you bought or were given?
No, it was I acquired it, so I don't know. I didn't purchase it. Someone gave it to me.
Oh.
And that's influenced me, as the Beatles did with you, with music taste for comedy and doing storytelling and sound effects and characters. So
okay.
Bill Cosby was a big influence on me, and then unfortunately, I have to start raping now. If I want.
What do you mean now?
What?
What do you mean now? Let's be honest.
You can't make rape jokes these days. I think we get canceled again.
We can. We have a small enough listenership. We can do what we want. We're like our own private thing. You know what I mean? We have a group of people who listen, and they enjoy it, and then no one tells other people what we're doing that's bad or good. So it sort of works out.
You're right.
By the way, I was looking at our stats last week. We had 12% or 12 downloads or 12% from Norway. Norway listening to the since we changed the name. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Norway, for listening.
Norway. I don't know
my Norwegian friends.
Yes. So Bill Cosby is the album you acquired. Now, what's the album you went to a store with your own dough and said, God damn it, I'm going to spend some money here and listen to this hot wax when I get home?
I'm pretty sure it was an album. You got to remember now, at that age, the cassettes were becoming big, but also
1948.
Eight-track cassettes, 8-track player. What is it? 8-track?
Christ. How old are you?
They were, well, No, it wasn't Age. It was one of those clubs, Columbia Records, and they were trying to get rid of all this shit because they had tens of millions of them in stock. And my parents had an 8-track player.
Gotcha.
So, but I think I bought vinyl with my own money. And I want to say, because it was my first concert that I went to, it was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ooh.
Called Earth, Wind, and Fire. And that was my first. I went with a bunch of college kids. I was 16. I had a license and a car, and they were all home from college. They were juniors and seniors. I had a car, so I became the chauffeur. They got me drunk and high and made me drive them to the Providence Civic Center to watch Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then I purchased the album at the concert.
Oh, they'd sell. Remember that day? They'd sell the albums at the concert, which was
kind of cool.
I mean, kind of cool, but so like old school and that. But it was
very
great.
Old school.
But it was great.
Very much
Get a T-shirt, an album, and it was, man, that's a good first concert. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Jesus, that's
wasn't. And I wasn't even like a listener or a fan, other than hearing it on the radio. So I knew there. Oh, when you see,
that's one of those
2 hours in concert, you're like, wow.
That's one of those bands, even if you're like, I don't really like them or I don't know them. If you see them in concert, you're a fan. They put on a show. They're good.
Yeah, they're musicians and singers and harmonies. And then you appreciate music rather than going, oh, that's fluff. I don't care for that.
Right. No, they're really good.
But someone said, hey, I got tickets for half price. And you go.
Most covers of Beatles songs I don't like, but Earth, Wind, and Fire does Got to Get You Into My Life. And it's fucking phenomenal.
It is a good version.
They kill it.
Rendition.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. What was the job? I'll do a tag on that question. You had your own money for the thing at 16. What was your job? Were you cooking fish?
I was cooking fish for a pittance, but I also had a couple of other jobs. At 16, I worked, where was I? I was on a country club, a lady boy. I was a dishwasher / salad prepper at a restaurant. I moved from dishwasher to it was more than salads. It was appetizers and whatnot. I slid into that. And my parents were outraged because they had their own restaurant. But they were refusing to give me a decent wage. So I had to seek work elsewhere to support my teenage life.
Unbelievable.
I was trying to get laid.
They can't even work. Your parents won't pay you. No, you got to go to a competing
And you know what?
restaurant.
You know what?
Like,
do you know what, Al? They're both dead. Both of my parents are dead. So there you go.
Well, that showed them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that.
I'm not saying I was responsible, but I was the last one to see them alive.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it there. And for you internet sleuths, you can look into this and make your own podcast.
I can't believe I said this.
The Ducharme Parents Podcast. Someone's going to come up with 2 women, and they're going to slowly every week unpeel the onion, and we'll lose you to jail. But that's wild. That's a wild story there, Al.
Well, I heard the internet Wi-Fi is much better in prison than it is on the ships.
We have the Starlink, and I'll tell you, this week has been exceptional Wi-Fi out here on the Symphony of the Seas.
We have the Star Stink.
The Star Stink. That's not as good. I don't know if that is quite as good.
Well, they keep putting messages on the TV. We apologize. Satellite positioning at this juncture. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah.
And then they make announcements. They put it in the paper. And I think, to be honest with you, why do we get ESPN and some other movie channels, but we can't get a certain? I think they don't want to cough up the money because the pandemic put them in debt. So
I don't turn on my TV in my room other than football.
I don't get that.
Everything on my internet. I don't turn the TV on.
I don't get that.
Why do I need the TV on? Other than a football game.
I like to go back and forth between the financial networks, CNN, and Fox to see who's lying to who.
But it's all on Twitter. I mean, I just saying, I get all the news on Twitter. I find out.
You're a Twitter news guy. I get.
I love Twitter news. And I read the New York Post for fun and games because they're fun. The Post is.
I think it's important to keep your toe in all the pools.
In the sand?
Not your head.
Kelly was telling me that an early podcast of ours, early, I was talking about I hate people who talk about the beach. They love the beach. They put their feet in the sand, and those kind of people are like, shut up, you know. Meanwhile, and then I became
She
that
loves the
person.
beach.
Well,
Because you got a
now.
girlfriend. You got a hot
I love
girlfriend,
it.
and she likes the
And
beach. You like
I go to the
Riesling.
beach.
You used to put Riesling on your bumper to clean it, and now you're drinking it
True.
because you got a hot girlfriend.
I know. I'll do anything to get laid. So sad. No, but it's funny because it's like I lived in Florida, but I lived so far from the beach that I never went. And now when you live close and you go to, it's just, it's pretty nice to just go to the beach. And
I like the beach occasionally. I just don't. It's so much a trek. Again, it's all about logistics, location.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes.
We always had to pack up the car.
No, that's right.
Like we were going on a safari, and it was like it was 45 minutes away, but because it was summer, it was an hour and a half because of traffic, and that's each way. It just became this like, I don't want to do this. And then I became a young adult, and I would stay overnight and go to the bars and restaurant. That changed it up a little bit, but I was too hungover to go back to the beach the next day.
But that was the case with me. Same thing. Then I moved to Tampa, far from the beach. But now that I live in Clearwater, there's no packing it up. We're not going and laying out for hours. It's more like we go to the beach at 5:30, grab a drink, and walk on the beach in the water. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's different.
Sunset.
That's different.
It's the best. It's the best. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
I think as a young adult, when I was in college, we would go because everybody, we got to get up early to beat traffic. You're always going to be in traffic. I think when we started going late afternoon, I think we were subscribing to what you just mentioned. We said, let's go after traffic and then stay after traffic and hang out. And sometimes we'd stay over.
Yeah, I'll get a gauge, get it like a pina colada, fucking walk in the water. Oh, it's great. Come on. It's better than that. What's better than a pina colada?
That's okay. You're bisexual now, which is in this day and age, perfectly
I don't know if
acceptable.
it's bi. I think I'm full gay. It sounds pretty gay. I get a pina colada. I walk on the water with my cockapoo. I mean, Jesus, if that's not full homo, what is?
If you like pina coladas and walking in the rain.
Yeah.
Is that the lyric? I don't.
Do you like making love at midnight in the something of the Cape? Dunes of the Cape? Yeah. That song doesn't hold up anymore because he's putting a classified ad in the newspaper.
Right. But you can do it on Tinder.
He could do it on I guess so. There was a couple the other night at the show. I was talking about how I met Kelly online dating. And this couple raised their hand and I go, how you doing? And they go, well, we met. They're married now. They met on Coffee. This is the name of the app. Coffee Meets Bagel. Like, what?
Never heard of it.
No one has. I go, you know how you met? You're the only two people.
Oh, wait
on
a
the
minute.
App. Come on. Nobody's on there.
That's big in Uruguay. It's very big here.
Oh, Coffee Meets Bagel. Yeah. But they met on that. And they were the only two. Not only were they met and married. She was the only online date he met. And he was the only online date she met. One person they met, they got married. Now it's not going to last, but it's a nice story. It's a nice story.
I don't know. I think it's meant to be. I have to check.
Alfred wants to check.
I just asked for my check.
He's going to get the check. He'd like his employee ship.
And now I got to do math because
you're not going to do one of those people, are you? I work on the ship. Is there any way I can get a little discount here?
No, I don't do that. I just got to remember because when you go from Argentina to Uruguay, the pesos change, and you got to remember that because in Argentina it's like dirt cheap, and Uruguay, the capital. I'm in the capital here. It's a regular city, So
I would know.
It's going to be a premium.
Never been.
I'm just going to put it on the card, and I'll find out when I get my bill.
Who else is on the ship with you? Any other entertainers? Anyone of note?
We don't have a captain, so we're anchored here for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Entertainers?
No, but there's a naturalist, Celia.
A naturalist?
I've known her. Yeah,
what
she walks around nude. Yeah, nudist.
That's what it sounds like.
But
Naturalist.
her sister's on board, and usually we hang out and have lunch together. But she's like blowing me off because she's got a hot sister, and she thinks I'm going to make a move on her.
Huh? What?
I don't know. I was just making
All
shit up.
that's in your fucked up head. None of that's real.
No, there's nothing. No, I love it. I want it to happen. I want those little fantasies in my head.
Yes.
It keeps me going. So when I go home, my wife goes, "What's getting into you? Let me show you what's getting into you."
What is it? Let me That's how they keep it fresh, folks. That marriage, that's it. He comes back for 3 weeks. Let me show you what's into you. And then Bernie makes a suicide bit and puts it on the internet. Can't blame the woman. Believe me, I can't blame you. Oh, yeah.
She keeps me in line. You know that.
Yeah. So you're on for 2 more weeks, or when do you head back to the place?
February 1st, I'll make my trek back to the West Coast for a day, and then I take a LA to LA cruise out of San Pedro.
Nice.
Not far from Long Beach.
There you go.
So that'll be easy. Yeah.
And that's a week.
Yeah, it's a week. Yeah.
All right, that's the way to do it. Is that
you go down the Mexican Riviera, as they call it, which is the west coast of Mexico, down to. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm doing a land gig, weather permitting, and Mazatlan, which Bernadette, my wife, comedian, we performed in Mazatlan a couple of times, and someone just sent out a message, "Hey, any cruise ship comedians want to come and do an afternoon show?" I'm like, me. So, and we sold
afternoon show.
We sold out.
Afternoon.
It's only 2 people, but they met on
Coffee meets bagel.
Coffee meets bagel.
Coffee meets.
So I will get, and they pay in US dollar. So
all right. Yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, like a 1 p.m. show.
Oh, that's not cool. I don't like that.
No, it's all expats. It's all expats. It's sold out already.
I know, but I hate an afternoon show, even though I've done them and I'll take
Dude,
it.
I'll tell you what. I'm like, I hated it, but I have one coming up on next cruise, possibly. It's a 2:30 C day, and it's packed, and it's like butter. In the past, it's been like the easiest thing.
Why are they doing a 2:30 show on a ship?
It's a sea day.
Well, why? I don't understand.
Because Mr. Pepto-Bismol needs more material, so he's going to be watching.
This guy stinks. Oh my God, this guy.
He's awful.
That's awful. Seriously. Hey, let me ask you a quick one before we wrap here. With your orange juice, pulp, no pulp, where do you stand on that?
Not Pulp Fiction kind of guy. Thank you very much.
Pulp, no pulp, little pulp.
I like a little pulp.
You
if
like
I know,
pulp?
if I'm paying attention and know it's got a lot of pulp, I'm good with that. But if I'm not paying attention, my first swig, sometimes I feel like it's a loogie. Someone chucked a loogie, as they would say in New England, which means spit in your orange juice.
But if you go to the grocery store, are you buying no pulp?
Oh, I see.
Or are you going with a full pulp?
In the middle, if there's one available.
You like it just a pulp?
Yeah, pulp.
Just regular pulp.
It's closer to fresh squeezed, right?
I don't like the pulp. I'm not a fan.
You hate the pulp too?
I don't care for he smokes dope, so I like him. But the pulp, we had it at the house, and I was like, "You like pulp?" She's like, "Yeah, I think." I go, "I don't care for the pulp. I don't want the pulp."
Do you know what it is? I don't. Yeah. When I order it somewhere, if I know it's fresh squeezed, where I can see them. You ever see one of those places? It's very big in the Caribbean. They'll have like a juicer.
Yeah,
they have all the oranges drop down,
and
the pulp is in there. I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
But that's
so if I know
really
it,
good. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If I know it, and I'm like, this is the best. Not pasteurized. It's not shipped around the world. It's right there from the tree to your mouth.
That's right. I
So
like
I'm
that.
into it.
I agree with you on
But
that.
when it's pulp in like a half-gallon container, it's like, what's in here? Come on, is it really pulp? Is it plastic shredding? What's going on?
Right. Like it's all food is, we were watching these Netflix things and don't watch those Netflix documentaries. You'll never eat anything again.
You'll become a vegan. Now, is Kelly vegetarian or vegan?
What's the diff? I think she's more vegan. She doesn't eat meat.
Vegan is no live animals, no mammals. And vegetarian is fish. Well, then she's a what is it? A pescatarian? What is it?
I think LGBTQ, or I don't know what she is, to be honest.
All right,
how does that work? I don't know how that works.
I don't know. You better go back to her profile on that dating app and check it out.
I'm gonna
scroll down.
I'll set
scroll
you up,
way down.
I'll set you up for a big one here. She doesn't eat meat, so there you go.
All right. Well, good luck with that. I know. He went to Charlie's Steakhouse. How did it cost? How was the bill $800 when she doesn't eat meat? How did that happen?
I don't know. I think I was drunk and added the wrong tip or something, because there's no way that dinner came out to be. It was basically almost $700. I don't know how.
I did order 2 prostitutes, so I don't know if that. I asked for a separate check. They didn't bring it. I didn't say anything.
I don't understand. I mean, really, because you bought drinks at the bar, then we sat down with drinks, and then somehow the bill came and it was $700. So I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I think some math was wrong. But if you remember, we've mentioned our waiter wouldn't discuss prices. So
he said, "I'm not allowed to quote prices at the table." I said, "Okay, let's go to the kitchen." "You're not allowed in the kitchen, sir." I'm like, "What kind of joint are you running here?"
We're just ordering food blindly. We don't know.
And he just said inflation.
Yeah, blindly ordering, and then we had then we went with 2 half bottles of wine instead of a bottle of wine. I don't doubt that might have been a mistake too. I don't know. Remember, we had 2 half bottles of vino.
Yeah, maybe I was trying to save you money.
Well, I don't know.
I picked the cheapest wines with half bottles, so it would have been equivalent to 1 full bottle. We got 2 different kinds of wines: Prisoner, and we like the cheaper one. That actually went better with our steaks. But so be it.
But yeah,
all right, we got to wrap it up, kid.
I don't know how that became that, because that would basically it was like $150 per person if you do the math on that. So I guess it works out. All right, it's finally getting quiet in there. It's finally getting quiet in there now. Well, I like it.
That's what the first bottle came out. They were like, "Woo!" Second bottle, yay! And now they're like,
and now the heroin's out, and they're all just laying there on the table. Whereas Rickles, remember Rickles, the wife lays in bed going. She lays in bed with her rings, bringing in chips.
Bless your soul, Donnie. He's so funny.
All right, guys. Alfred, safe travels. What's your home port there? What's the home? Where do you?
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh.
Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires.
That sounds exotic. You know what I mean? That sounds. That's what you want. You're traveling. You're in Buenos Aires.
The exchange rate is a lot better there than it is in Uruguay. Uruguay, although is a safer, nicer country as far as American standards, whereas Argentina, it varies depending on where you're going, but they're beautiful countries and great people, so very hospitable.
How far are you right now from the ship, the restaurant you're in?
I'm actually maybe 300 yards, 400 yards.
Oh, you're
pretty
right
close.
There. So it's a restaurant right in the port area.
Yeah, you walk across and it's like a farmer's market, and then it changes into a bunch of restaurants. And then I went all the way through to the other side, and I said, "Oh, this is quiet." And then I sat down and ordered a beer and a meal, and all of a sudden everybody started coming in because all the restaurants are filling up. So they made their way here.
Now you're 2 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time.
I am.
You are. Okay. So it's 12:20 here. in Coco Cay. So it's 2:20 in the afternoon in Uruguay.
You're a gay.
You are gay. And when do you where do you go next? What's the itinerary for the rest of the week?
Well, the home port we're going to tomorrow, Buenos Aires. That's turnaround day.
All right.
So the passengers will get off, new passengers will come on, and I will be on for not even like a third of the next cruise, because that's a 14-day cruise. So I'll be on until February 1st. I'll just be on for a few days.
Right.
I'll do my shtick. Shtick.
Yeah.
I'll do 2 welcome aboards, 1 matinee, and then I'm off. Now, I didn't go see the penguins this trip because it was a 2.5-hour drive each way. So it was 5 hours in a van. And then I talked to the naturalist,
go see Burgess
Celia,
for 5 hours round trip, let alone fucking penguins.
And after my travel, I'm like, I don't want to do any more traveling. Celia, the naturalist, she says, when we leave the port, you can see them off the bow of the ship. There's like a few thousand of them.
And she's naked when she says that. So that's pretty hot, you know?
Right.
Who's your favorite penguin on Batman all time?
Burgess Meredith.
Gotta be Burgess Meredith. Come on. All these guys taking it seriously. He's walking around doing that. That was great. With the long cigarette holder. I mean, hilarious.
Well, you know I do that on stage now when I'm down here.
No.
Yeah. It's a whole bit.
How would I know that?
I'm not going to share.
What do you do?
Give me the finger.
What's the joke?
You give me the finger. You give me the finger.
What's the joke?
Give me the finger. You just put your middle finger, pretended you were scratching yourself, and you gave me the finger.
Did I send you that video? Somebody put together a video from the 60s to today. How Paul McCartney secretly does this.
I'm sorry.
In any interview, if you watch him, when he does that, he's given the finger.
He flips the bird.
For 60 years, he's been doing it.
Yeah.
You just kind of go, I don't know. It's always the middle finger going, okay.
Yeah, he's itchy. Yeah. So you're ripping him off. You're ripping him off. Why don't you do the Pepto-Bismol joke tomorrow?
100%. It's a good joke, man. I was kidding around. That's a good piece of business right there.
All right, wrap it up.
That's a nice one.
Say goodbye to the 12 listeners.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. 2 Owls, 1 pod. Today with a new volume episode, and every Friday we dig into the vault on Fridays, and we give you one of a classic from the COVID era. Peace.
Good luck in prison.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Owls, 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
What? Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/the2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.